how did your like classmates all sort of react and respond to you becoming famous? This is like when it first happened many years ago, and suddenly you were in these movies, you were sex symbol, all of these things. How did they respond to that?
I think I accidentally put a right after you said sex symbol.
You were like, yeah.
No, that wasn't
accidental.
Let's reenact it.
Yeah. Can we go back to the tape? It wasn't supposed to be in there. It wasn't supposed to be in there. It was for the other thing that you said right before that. It was just a little delayed and it fell in behind sex symbol. So I just want to be clear. That was
But I mean, that must have been so weird for people that went to high school with you.
We talked about this even to some extent. You know, really, it's coming on 40 years. It's more than 40 since I was in high school with them. But what I'll describe to you is the most amazing thing that happened, especially in those first 5 and 10 years where I'm on location in different places. My friends came to visit me. It was incredible. I remember which movies I was shooting. Katie and Taki came to shoot a movie. It was called Boy's Life when we were shooting it, called Staying Together. So that was right away in like 87. Taki came to Young Guns and another Western out.
Sure.
So they really, literally showed up for me. I can't describe why or how I got so lucky to have friends like that from high school that all remain alive, still, and as close as we ever were. Amazing. So they've been phenomenal.
I'm curious what you have on the old IMDb page.
Yeah.
About 7,000 projects that you are attached to.
Oh, yeah.
And I was curious, what do you? I mean, you've been working for so many years, and you're so, like Jess said, you're so successful and so great and sexy. We'll just say it, sex symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that time I said it loud and proud, didn't
exactly.
I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, the other time it's a mistake. He was hesitant. You want me to affirm that?
That
I will.
presidential. The president says yeah.
President sex symbol. That said, it is mind-blowing when you see you are having this moment of like must cast him, and what do you attribute that to?
Well, I've got a real go-getter attitude. I mean, how else do you want me to put it? So there's that. I really love what I do. Super lucky. A lot of the things that I've accomplished, I did because I work hard and I'm, good at it. Everybody goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presidential. Check.
Yeah. But so much of it was people extending themselves to put me in these roles, right, or to write them, and in the first place. So, gosh, right now a lot of things changed, and I was definitely light on my feet to shift into television when television was becoming what it's more like now in the streamers. But then even since then, there's a lot of these ones recently are really cool parts in movies that would otherwise somehow be off the mainstream. And they're closer to the mainstream now because of streamers. So they have someplace to go. So they're making movies that other guys don't want to be in. I hear you, but they're also not seeing quite the parts that I'm being offered. So each time, it may not have other famous actors in it, or the director might be, less experienced than some I've worked with, but those aren't really factors for me. It's always about the story, about, would I like to see that movie, and how cool is that part? And so then when you do a couple of cool parts, then you start being the guy that they call for cool parts. So that's the best thing that ever happened to me, is that I evolved from, not that being a leading man in popular rom-coms isn't a good job, but I expanded my business since then in some ways. Or if you trace it back really to the beginning, where I was back-to-back doing Young Guns and Longtime Companion. So I've been doing that all along. It's just now that there's a place for these movies to go. They're rapid fire. They're shooting them on the fly. I love it. I have a couple that you haven't seen yet. Breakwater's got to find eyes because it's a great movie. Ruthless just got picked up by a distributor.
Where you also play a coach, a high school coach.
Yeah, so I had two coaches pretty close in time. That high school coach is more of a, man out on a mission to save one of his students. And a real arm breaker of a movie. It's going to be really fun.
This sounds like kind of your Taken.
It would be, except Taken. I love Liam Neeson. I worked with him in The Grey, which I know we've talked about. It's a brilliant movie. Liam Neeson is Liam Neeson, and I am not Senator Liam Neeson, who's 6'4" and 220 plus, and a bruiser and catcher's mitts for hands. So it tells a much different story when a guy like me who's, not that good at basketball, but super athletic, throws down and takes these guys out. So it's really fun. Maybe Odenkirk did a movie that had that same feel.
Oh, yeah.
So, it'd be that kind of guy, tough guy who wasn't really meant to be tough, but had to rise to the occasion. Classic, right? People love that.